Good evening, sir.
Welcome, Tiwari.
Hi, Satyam.
Good evening. Welcome. Good evening.
Satyam, welcome.
Satyam.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Yes,
Shall we start?
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Satyam, let's begin the interaction. Why don't you start?
Satyam, you need to clean the lens in front of your camera because the picture is very hazy.
Sir, actually, the lighting in the room is a bit dull.
Just try and clean the lens of your phone or camera, whatever it is, with a nice piece of cloth or paper or something. Not with your hand here. Try and clean it with a piece of cloth. Sometimes. Slightly better, yes.
Slightly better, that's all. Okay. Okay, Satyam, let's begin with a self-introduction.
Good evening, sir. My name is Satyam Tiwari. I've done completed my schooling from Varanasi till class 12. After that, I have done BTech in Metallurgy and Materials Engineering from Karachi. After that, I have joined Hinduja Foundries, where I worked in new product development. And later, I switched into Hawkins Cooper Limited in sales department. And then I come into civil services preparation. Also, I have completed my law in this year.
Okay. You hail from Prayagraj.
Yes, sir. I was born there.
You were born there. What was its original name?
Sir, Allahabad.
Or is Prayagraj the original name?
Sir, earlier it was Prayagraj, then later it was changed into Allahabad, and now again.
Okay. And your father was working in Varanasi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was its original name?
Sir, Kashi.
It has another name also.
Sir, Varanasi has many names. Kashi being the most prominent. The land of Shiva, where Shiva resides.
Okay. Banaras.
Yes, sir, Banaras also. Abhimukh is another name of Banaras.
Okay, good. Okay. I find that you have done your BTech in Metallurgy and Materials Engineering, and from there you are switched over to law. What is the reason?
Sir, I wasn't much aware about the exposures, so I have come into engineering. But after completing my graduation, I found that my interest lies somewhere else, and I found law to be more interesting, so I switched into that.
Hey, so you took a long time to realize the difference between engineering and law.
Sir, at class 12, I didn't have that much creativity.
I know. That's but natural. Okay. And then you worked in a law firm or in a foundry?
Sir, I have just completed my law, and results are still a bit. Results are away. Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you think is so fascinating about law?
Sir, knowing about the legal framework of the nation and how legal rules applies, and what one's rights and liabilities are, is an asset in itself.
Okay.
And it is also, as a career backup option, it is also a professional choice.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between law and justice?
Sir, law is a body of rules which dictates how an individual should conduct itself in a community, whereas justice has a broader connotation, and it gives what is just and fair, and what one due should be given to him or her.
Okay. Is one the means to the end?
Yes, sir. Law is the means and justice.
Justice is the end.
Justice is the end and law is the means to attain that.
Does it always lead to justice? Does law always lead to a justice?
No, we can't say so.
Can you illustrate that? Can you elaborate that with some illustration, with some example based on your study.
Sir, there are procedures to be followed in law, and due to these procedural regularities, sometimes justice, as we say, justice delayed is justice denied. So we can't say that in every case we have achieved justice. Like if we acquit some person after 23 years of his life, then we can't say justice is done in that case.
Though the means might have been adopted.
Yes, means have here, but the end goal has lost its significance.
So how to set this right? Is there any way you can improve on the system whereby the means lead to the end, which is justice?
Sir, any procedural regularity or any regulation should not come in the way of getting justice. So if we look at the present under trials, the number of under trial in our prisons, then there should be quick speed. There is a constitutional right of speedy trial for them. So lack of we should establish fast track courts. Also, there is need to have forensic evidence and investigation so that trial can be concluded at faster pace. Also, there is a lot of adjournments in our, is done in our courts. So that should also be regulated. So
according to you, should there be a period for trial for different types of cases?
Sir, there should be at least there should be period time period where on which accused should be released. There is a time period like this time period for if that within this time limit if charge sheet is not filed, then bail will be granted, or you can't keep under trial within if he has been kept in jail for half the maximum sentence. But the most of the under trials belong to socio-economic backward section, so they don't have that legal aid available to them, which is causing the issue.
Okay, tell me, what is the connection between law and public administration?
So public administration at large involves governance in society, and that needs law and its mechanism to have part. As said that there should be a rule of law in public administration and not rule of men. So law regulates that there is no any arbitrary judgment or decision made in public administration.
Okay. Is there any role for discretion in public administration?
Yes, sir. There are discretion given, but the discretion has to be fair and done in good faith.
Can you elaborate?
Sir, if we look at the discretion given in criminal procedure code, like police have some discretionary power, or in delegated legislation, administration or district magistrates have some discretionary power. It is given as they are at the better position to judge the situation and act on circumstances. So it helps in that case.
What do you think about the farmers' agitation, which is now going on in and around Delhi? Is the cause justified, and is the action acceptable?
Sir, protest is a democratic right of an individual and a community. So peaceful protest in democratic society is always there. But specifically in farm laws, there is a misinformation and miscommunication between government and farmers. There have been many rounds of talks, but it is still not solved. But we should. I'm hopeful that some results will come in near future.
But can they block roads?
No, sir, they can't.
So that is illegal.
Yes, sir. Protest which is causing, if it causes damage and crisis to public, general public, then it is illegal.
There's no damage. It's not damage. It's a peaceful protest, but they are obstructing the people from moving about freely.
Yes, sir. People have, general public also have their freedom of movement, and that is their fundamental right.
That's right. That's right. Everybody has a right. You see, the famous saying is, you can wield your stick so long as it doesn't hit my nose.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. No.
Yes, sir.
It's called Silambatam in Tamil. We are all from Tamil Nadu. There's a game called Silambatam where they wield the stick. The stick should be wielded in such a way that it doesn't knock off somebody's nose. Anyway, thanks. Good. That was good. Okay, Vivek, take over.
Thank you.
Yeah. Satyam Tiwari, as I said, you have studied, metallurgy and material engineering. But I see that in your subject in the IAS, you have taken sociology.
Yes, sir.
Why is it that you didn't? Why did you shift from metallurgy and material management to sociology?
Sir, metallurgy and materials is not available as an optional in civil services exam.
Why sociology? Why not anthropology or international law, political science?
Sir, at the start of preparation,
I want an honest answer. I don't want a. Please give me an honest answer.
Sir, at the start of the exam, I have listed some subjects which I thought that they will be suitable for me. And after reading NCERTs of these all subjects, 2-3 subjects, then I thought that sociology is more suitable for me.
How will you define sociology? Sister, what is it?
So sociology is a study of men in society.
Only men, not women, is it?
No, sir. Here, man is a gender neutral term.
I thought human beings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry. Study of human in a society, and is how and its social structure, its social strata. What are the stratification in society? Why there are social stratification in society? Why there is conflict?
Yeah, I know. I mean, social life, social change,
yes,
all
sir.
those things.
Yes.
What are fundamental duties? Number one, which are your favorite top 2 or 3 favorite fundamental duties? And what is that within sociology? What is the social change that you think you can bring in through fundamental duties?
Sir, one is to protect national monuments, and second will be to protect.
What are fundamental duties? Which are your first top 2, 3 fundamental duties? And then that's the last part of the question.
So fundamental duties are in Article 51A of Constitution, and it has been brought by 42nd Amendment in the year 1976. And what I like in fundamental duties is it asks citizens to voluntarily do an act, and like protecting national monuments, and cultural heritage, protecting national flags, and
I asked you which are your top 3.
Yes,
and
sir.
Which are your top 3, and how do you link? What is the social change that you think you can bring through fundamental duties?
Sir.
So let's go. Number 1, which is your top fundamental duty according to you?
Sir, protecting national monuments.
Preserving natural environment, or what are you saying?
National monuments, sir.
Okay.
And protecting environment.
I think it's safeguarding the public property. Is there something called preserving national monuments?
Yes, sir, there is one. I'm not able to.
I know 11. There are 11 fundamental duties. Some of them, of course, have been added. And they abide. This one is about abiding by the Constitution and respect for national flag anthem, following the ideals of freedom struggle, protecting sovereignty, integrity of India, defending the country, promoting a spirit of brotherhood, preserving composite culture, preserving the natural environment, developing a scientific temper, safeguarding and maintaining a public property, striving for excellence, and last one, duty of all parents to send their children in the age group of 6 to 14 years to school. These are the 11 that I have read of. Now, if you have added another one in the Constitution, I'm not aware of that.
Sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall all the fundamental duties. Thank you for stating that for me.
So which is your favorite? And how do you think you can link it to social change in your study of sociology?
Sir, first is to preserve composite culture. Second is to promote brotherhood and fraternity.
But if you are preserving, then how will you bring social change?
Sir,
preservation means you are preserving the old. Social change means you are breaking the old. Don't you think the two are opposed to each other?
Sir, keeping the good and removing the bad is what I think is the need.
Okay. You have specifically said, I don't want to opt for foreign service in your choice of them, not opting.
Not opting.
Why? What's this allergy to the Indian Forest Service?
Sir, due to personal reasons, I have not chosen foreign services. It is an extremely good service, but due to personal reasons, I have not chosen. As
personal reasons which you obviously can't share, that means.
Sir, due to my parents, and I have a responsibility and obligation to take care of them.
So fine, that's a very good cause. I mean, I have very aged parents. I don't think, because I can't see any reason why you can't take your parents also to whichever foreign country you are going to. I'm sure they would like to see some foreign countries too. But I leave it entirely at that. Okay, over to you, Jawahar sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Satyam Tiwari, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, am I audible and visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, when you are in your school, you studied at Sant Atul Anand School. Who is this Sant Atul Anand? Can you tell me something about him?
So Sant Atul Anand is a saint in the Eastern UK. His work mostly involved in Eastern UK. He is not only a religious leader, but also a social reformer, and has a huge interest in modern education. Here, our school is built on the land donated by him.
Very
so
good.
It's named after him.
Very good. You are a student of law, finally, right?
Yes,
so your memory must be very fresh with regard to law. What is administrative law? Can you explain administrative law?
So administrative law is not a codified law, but it acts on a principle of jurisprudence and philosophy of law.
Yes.
And it involves the various pillars like how the legislation and executive and will work, how the delegated legislation will take place, and the major principle like separation of power and rule of law is inside.
Okay. Can you explain me what is natural justice principle?
So the principle of natural justice comes in aid when the legal justice lacks. So it stands that every party should be heard before a trial, and there should be no bias in the hearing, and every evidence is
these are set of definitions that those things, what is administrative law, natural justice principle, adi alteram partem. You remember that?
Yes, sir. Now
basically every law student remember adi. These are things, you should always, even in the middle of the night, somebody you wake you up, you should be able to tell. So you need not find it definite. These are all the kind of what you call text that is already you studied them, right? So go through and strengthen them. As regards to your opinion-based question, okay, that where you can, think you can give your own opinion. Well, now what is IPC section 124A deals with?
Sir, it deals with sedition.
Yeah, it's sedition. Why it is in the recent news?
Sir, recently, Honorable Chief Justice has asked that do we need this law in this modern democratic society?
What is your view?
Sir, I think that so sedition is a colonial era law, and given the drastic change in society, and we also have other laws which can take care of the things already mentioned in ingredients of sedition, like UAP and other laws. Yeah. So it's time to move away from sedition.
Okay. The problem is in the implementation of the law, right? When there is a difference between the state and the government, often when it is something against the government, it is construed against the state, and this law is applied. That is why the Supreme Court is worried about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. You can, make it very simple. Your answers you can make it very simple. Fine. Now you are talking about speedy or what do you call quick redressal of grievance. Speedy trial is a basic right, fundamental right. Is it there mentioned like that?
No, sir, but it forms part of Article 21, right to life.
21. Oh, so many right to access to internet, right to privacy, everything is now today enshrined in Article 21, right to life and liberty. Right? Okay. You are talking about, legal access. Many people, poor people not able to get legal access. What is NALSA? NALSA.
So NALSA is a legal aid. NALSA is an act through which a DPSP principle, where it is enshrined that we should provide legal aid to the underprivileged. It is the act which regulates that.
When there is a NALSA, why people are not able to get access to legal service, free legal service?
So NALSA also provides legal aid to bar lawyers only, which are the member of the bar. But currently it lacks in assessing all the prisoners.
Yeah, it's more important is that we should bring people who are in need with those who are providing it. So there is a gap.
Yes, sir.
Even administrator like us should do something to bring them together, right? You can mention that. NALSA provides that. And these people are not getting it. There is some kind of a governance problem, administrative problem, how we to address them, right? Have you heard about what is called law clinics attached to law colleges?
Sir, I don't know much about that, but Legal Aid Society.
Have you heard about these law clinics attached to law colleges?
So I haven't heard about law clinic, but there is Legal Aid Society which is working as a legal clinic in our college.
Exactly. Actually, that's the problem in our country. When you have signed up students who are preparing themselves, they should open this law clinic, and every day they should sit and go to different areas to spread awareness about the free legal aid that is available. And also, bring them to the NALSA or the state organization that provides, right? So have some knowledge about this law clinic. Some places, the law clinics are functioning very well, right? What is this MG Narega?
Sir, it is a National Rural Employment Guarantee Act.
Yes.
Which guarantees 100 days of work in rural areas.
Very good. Yes, particular state has brought this program for urban areas also. What is the state? What is that program?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware.
Yeah, it is Himachal Pradesh. They are the first in the country to bring this National Employment Guarantee Program for urban workers because of increasing number of migrants. Because the migrants are losing their job when there is a lockdown due to pandemic. They are unable to move. So this is the first time it has been very useful, and they are utilizing them for, clearing it's all mostly because of the manual labor, cleaning the streets, right? Cleaning the, wherever there is a problem, where the, gutters are clogged, then they are all being cleared. And they are also working also on the outskirts of the city, right? So this is the kind of a program they have brought in. Just have some idea what is happening around. And you have chosen, Uttarakhand as your choice. You are not chosen Uttarakhand as the fifth choice, but you have preferred Aghmut Kadar. Can you tell me why?
Sir, I am staying in Delhi for past 5 years. So I've much acclimatized with this city. And also Aghmut helps in serving in Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar and UTs. So I haven't seen that place, so Aghmut is the choice.
Okay, fine. Whatever you can give your honest opinion on that, right? Okay. Now the population policy in UP.
Yes, sir.
New population control policy in UP. Is it in a right direction or retrogressive direction?
Sir, I agree partially with the draft policy, as UP has a huge population of 24 crores and has a TFR ranging in 2.7.
Yes.
So,
what is the national average? As against
2.2.
national average?
2.2.
Yeah. So it's not far away, right? It can
Yes,
be bridged.
Yes, sir. Sir, but as said that development is the best contraceptive, and as shown by South Indian states and other states that how development has helped in bringing down the TFR. So the draft policy should also include the that developmental aspect in the policy.
Very good. Okay. Then there is you are watching web series.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? What is the latest web series that you have seen?
Sir, Fauda, it's an Israeli web series.
What is it?
Sir, Fauda, it's an Israeli web series. It means chaos.
Okay, right. What is the advantage of seeing web series?
Sir, if we compare it to movie, the content on web series is quite good. And also we can now, due to OTT platform, we can watch regional web series and also international web series. So
very good.
It has better viewer experience.
Okay, you can talk about more creativity or special areas of interest, history and documents, combining. There are so many advantages as regards web series, particularly telecast on OTT. And in OTT, you want complete, regulating OTT is necessary.
Sir, I'm not in favor of censorship, but as IT rule has,
because I used the word not censorship, I should regulate. You
sir,
have to follow the question.
Sir,
I don't want, because nobody will immediately agree with any censorship.
Sir,
yeah. Regulation.
I'm not in favor of complete regulation, but as IT rules mentioned,
what are the areas you would like to kind of regulate? Tell me, because you have been watching a number of web series.
Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, with regards to the age limit, the serial should mention that this is appropriate to age group of this much crowd. And secondly, with regards to content, the maker should also self-regulate their opinion that it should not harm the sentiments of people in very
they're all general. You can see portraying women in a bad light, right? There is quite a lot of web series they carry like that. Then there is a foul language, very foul language, which is normally not spoken in a normal society, right? And number 3, there are obscene kind of even half-porn, this is being displayed in web series. These are the things that need to be controlled for the betterment of the society. Right?
Violence also can be good.
Yeah, quite a lot of violence. You can show it in a way. Violence you cannot show so much. They try to portray even a man dies within 5 minutes, they go on show. And there are scenes where people are committing suicide by, putting plaster around their neck. I've seen some series. They're all, not good towards the society. At the same time, lot of creativity is available only in such web series, right? So you have some idea both plus and minus about it. Now, what is strategic petroleum reserves and why they are kept in coastal areas?
Sir, India is trying to build its strategic petroleum reserve to meet the IEA International Energy Agency criteria of being a member. It has to be a 90-day reserve. We are making it in coastal underground rocks in coastal areas because fuel stays stable in those places.
Yeah, because in coastal area, it is kept in coastal area because it can be immediately shipped to the wherever because refining need to go, and also it is easy to access all refineries through road. That is why the strategic selected. They have now our reserve is 5 million metric tons. Have some kind of facts and figures, 1 or 2, so that your answers become more important. Right. Last question, because your student studied in material science. And can India under Atmanirbhar Bharat become self-sufficient, self-reliant in respect of semiconductor chip production and rare earth minerals?
Sir, with regards to semiconductor chip manufacturing, with all my current knowledge and understanding, I don't think India can become self-reliant and Atmanirbhar. As we don't have...
What are the reasons? You tell
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, when you say it cannot become, then automatically the next question arises, why?
Yes, sir. Sir, firstly, it is because it needs huge investment. And the industry is changing very dynamically and with a lot of pace. So if we look at the bigger manufacturers which are in the field, like Samsung or Intel or Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company,
yes,
they are all very big, they are all having big investment. So if some like Tata is planning to make a semiconductor chip,
yes,
but how will they have a customer? They don't have a permanent clientele system. As we seen that US, which was having huge share in semiconductor manufacturing, due to China, their share have also come down in these fields. So we can have a supply chain, but being a self-reliant is, I think, far-fetched.
Yeah, you can always say that now we do not have, but we are doing quite a lot of research in this area, right? Number of foreign companies have research done in India for their manufacturing units. Now, where we'll have to do is we can do it. As regards the rare earth is concerned, we cannot do because we don't have rare earth deposit, as it is available more in China and other places.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right? Just have some idea because you have studied about material science. That is why I'm asking these questions to you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Fine. Sir.
Okay. Yes, Satyam, we are almost at the end of our interaction. Let me ask you, how did you feel about this interaction?
Sir, quite good. Sir has given many insights like how to answer and what are the points I should include in my answers.
Are you satisfied with your performance if you are the assessor?
No, sir. I can do much better in some of the questions.
So make a point of those questions where you thought you could do better and try to improve it, prepare a reply, and then rehearse that also. Okay. Acha. Now, is there anything you wish to ask any of us? Is there any clarification or any statement you wish to make to the committee?
Sir, regarding my career shift, is my reason is acceptable because I am giving my honest reason, but will it be acceptable to the board?
I don't. You see, ultimately it is your choice. What career you choose, whether it is engineering or whether it's law or whether it's public services, civil services, is ultimately your choice. It all should be driven by your own instincts, your feelings, your capabilities, your passion for it, and not so much the amount of glamour or the amount of money or the amount of prestige that it involves. Basically, it's a question of how much you can contribute in that area. Like you want to become a sportsman, then you must be a real good sportsman so that you can contribute to that sport. Otherwise, better players will come and take your place. In the same manner, you should have a genuine interest, a genuine passion, a kind of a feeling for this kind of activity. No question of simply giving some reply, which may be acceptable to X or Y or Z. Everybody has their own compulsions, but you must be really moved by this particular activity. If you are really into it, if your heart and soul is into it, then you take it. Otherwise, you must go in for that area where you will really enjoy working. You see, everybody works, everybody makes money, everybody earns. Ultimately, everybody will retire also. But while working, you're going to work for 35, 40 years. You must enjoy the kind of work you're doing. If you are not going to enjoy it, there's no point in taking up that career. You see, nowadays and all that options are much lesser, much fewer. We all got out of college and everybody went into civil service because that was the only thing, or into bank services. Today, it's not like that. Today, you have a plethora of options available to you in the private sector. You can do things on your own. There are so many areas. You can work for a while and then come out of it. So make up your mind. See what is it that really excites you? What is it that really propels you? What is it that where you have the skill and the competence and the capability, where you can contribute to the development of the community, the society and all. In that area, you must take it up. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, now for the debriefing session, first for the external factors. The most important thing is whenever you come for
Yes, sir.
Whenever you come for an interview of this kind, of such a high order, you must be properly dressed, properly attired. You must be booted, suited and tied, as they say. You see, that is the norm which is expected of a civil servant. You are in a very casual kind of a dress.
No, sir, I am wearing formal shirt.
Collar?
Sir, I am wearing a formal shirt.
I can see that. I can see that.
No, is that the dress you'll wear for the interview? I think that's.
Will you wear this?
Are you
No,
just
sir.
planning to wear a shirt and pants? Then it's okay. I mean, then it's fine. But if you're planning to wear a suit and tie on that day, then you should be wearing a suit and tie even for this interview. That's the point.
Sorry, sir.
Now, you see, you must practice the kind of thing which you must be doing there. Don't do anything for the first time at the interview level. Wearing a new shirt or a new tie or a jacket which doesn't fit you and all that. If you wear it for the first time, you will feel terribly self-conscious and uncomfortable. And that will impact your performance in the interview. Okay. So wear something regularly, practice it. You have still some more time for your interview. When is your interview?
Sir, 16th of September.
16th September. You have a month to go. So
Yes.
practice all that, write it out, rehearse your interview, speak before the mirror, ask some of your friends and colleagues and friends and others and family to watch you and see how you perform. Play out the tape and see whether you come out the way you want to come out. You see, everything is fine about you. You are confident. You're not nervous. You've appeared before other interviews, so you know how to go about the whole thing. But somewhere I feel the energy level is a little low. The voice modulation is not adequate. It's on an even keel, like a routine kind of a statement or a report which you're reading out. It is not like that. It's like a newspaper report. No, it's not like that. You have to interact with people. See, this interview is not a question answer session. It's a method by which we draw out your strength, your personality, your feelings, your aptitude, your interests. So that you must bring out on your own. And those are the trigger points. One word which we say, like about Kashi or Prayagraj or something, from there you can take off. And then lead the committee to areas of your strength. You see, it's an opportunity for you to take them to their, by the scuffers and all, as they say, you lead them along And from there, other questions will flow where you have your strong points and which you can answer better. Don't let them dictate terms to you. You must be able to lead the committee towards your areas, for which you have to have enthusiasm, some energy. Your replies must be more forthright, more emphatic. There's not much of cheer in your voice. You're looking as though you are giving out some kind of a routine reply to some question answer session, like some kind of an interrogation is going on. No, you must put some more energy and verve and passion into your voice. Practice that. The interview techniques are all there. Our friends here will be able to guide you. You should be able to put some more energy, some more verve, some more passion. When you speak, you must speak with authority, with conviction, affirmation. Follow?
Yes.
That is something which you have to practice. Of course, we all have the our mother tongue as our thing. So the tinge of the mother tongue will also always appear in our English language. We can't get over that. We can't speak English like the Englishman can, because English is their mother tongue. It's not ours. But at the same time, we should try to make it as interesting for the listeners as possible, so that they don't drop off or they don't go away or turn away. You must be able to engage them, keep their interest in you. They should be able to ask more questions. When they ask, say, why from engineering to law? Why did you go there? You should be able to come up with some very interesting and very unique answer. Not a routine kind of a thing, but something different, something unique, which will excite them and they'll ask more questions on that. Okay. For that, you need to do some more preparation. Your communication has to improve a little more, for which there are techniques. There is still time available, and I'm sure with some more preparation and effort, you'll be able to do much better. All the best to you. Good luck. Do well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Satyam, I think you, as I said, he's already told you about the dress. Just a couple of fundamental points about this so-called personality test. See, first of all, it's not really a test of your knowledge. It is, of course, knowledge, but blended with the fact that how well are you able to hold a conversation. So they are looking to have a good conversation with you for about 20-25 minutes. It's not that they want to, it's not a research, it's not an interview for a PhD, that are you defending your PhD or you're not defending your PhD. But yes, of course, knowledge is a must, but you need, around that knowledge, you need to understand and have a good conversation. So you are still somehow in a question answer mode, that a question is asked and an answer has to be provided. I think the critical thing that you need to understand is that whether it's a question or a statement or a comment or a quotation which is given to you and then you're asked to elaborate on it, consider that as a trigger point. What is the trigger point that they are trying to provide, on the basis of which I can have a conversation? Now, let me look at this like that. Social, I had talked to you about fundamental duties. What are the fundamental duties, and which are your favorite fundamental duties? And how do you think this has impacted social change? Now, all of it is linked to the study of your sociology and what is current affairs, which you should know about fundamental rights and fundamental duties. Now, you quoted a fundamental duty which doesn't even exist. I mean, you know, it's not like a stated fundamental duty. So I think if you are not aware of the fact, then you could always talk about the fact that, sir, I would say my fundamental duties are one that talk about, you could say, national honor, national integrity. Education is, I think, very important. The fact that every child has to be now given education is something that you must know. And that is a big change. Which are the ones which are linked to social change? Which are the ones that look to the mind, which are looked to the social change? So you have done all these things. It's just that questions will always not be straightforward. The trigger points will want to have a conversation. So people provide points around conversation. Now, we've not asked you anything about your father works in a cattle feed factory. And this whole thing about cow and cattle in UP is again big. It could become a trigger point for a conversation expected of you. So please be prepared on that. There, as I said, population, Jawahar sir has already said the UP population bill, and the timing of the bill is again something on which a conversation is possible. Change of name, does it make a difference from Allahabad to Prayagraj? Do you think changes of names and things like that really make a difference? That's something on which people can ask you questions. You have done something called a student-run NGO. So what I was suggesting that, what you consider as your important points about you, important things about Satyam, strategically important from a civil service selection point of view, what is good about Satyam Tiwari, you must somehow weave them into your answer or weave them into your conversation. Because a lot of conversation moves from one to the other. So try and bring out your strongest points, number 2. Number 3 is, when Mr. Sridhar asked you at the end that, is there something that you would like to know from the panel? You must prepare. This is a question which is being asked. A, is there something from your DAF which is a nice point about which we have not asked you? Would you like us to talk about it? If there is something, please mention that. B, is there something that you would like to know from the panel, would like to learn from the panel? Please prepare some questions for that, yes, I would like to learn from the panel that, or I would like to know from the panel that. Please prepare a couple of questions. You have to do that. You will, as I said, my basic fundamental is that look at your DAF, that every data on your DAF has the capacity to become a conversation point. And as Jawahar sir will even point it out to you, even your email address, your telephone number, your date of birth, who are the other people born on there? Who do you share your birthday with? Who are the other people? How does it inspire you? All these points, because that's all that they know about you. All they know about you is what's there in your detailed application file. And the more things they will come to you is once they start the conversation from you. कि भाई ये किया, वैसे किया, अच्छा कैसे किया, अच्छा ये ऐसे किया, okay. So let us tell us something about more. 70% of your conversation around DAF. So I would say build up on the foundation of your DAF, good conversation points. And otherwise you have a good voice, you have a good tenor. Remember, please wear a mask and learn to practice speaking with a mask on. Make it as much as exactly like it will be in UPSC. Because if you get used to wearing a mask and speaking, then you will not get sneezing. Sometimes when you wear a mask and you speak, it could cause sneezing and irritation in the nose. So get used to the fact of the exact way the UPSC interview will take place. And our best wishes are with you. I think otherwise you have a good personality. I think you should have a slightly more strategic, shorter haircut. Hair are long, a more smartly haircut. I don't know what dress you plan to wear, but if you were wearing one, we could have given you some comments on that. But since you're not wearing one, we really can't comment. But you're free to talk to Madhvi and share, know our numbers and share a picture of this is what I intend to wear so that we can give you some advice, even in terms of what you have to, what will give a really top class first impression. Because I think you have a striking personality. You're a slim person. I would presume that you're at least 5'10", 5'9", 5'10".
5'11".
5'11". So I'm there. 5'10", I'm in 5'11". With a heel and a little bit else, you'll be about 6 feet tall. It's a nice tall person walking into the room. It'll be a good impression. As I said, look really dapper and smart. Wear a perfume. And if it's a day or whatever, morning perfume. Shining shoes make a very good impression. And so on the physical part, I think you have a good personality. Convert it into an emotional, sociological, cultural best for you. And I'm sure you'll come out tops. Best wishes. Over to Jawahar sir.
Thank you, sir.
So in addition to what my seniors have said, I will like to tell you, Satyam Tiwari, your DAP preparation is still more preparations are required. Because you kindly take out at least 100 to 150 questions from your DAF. Right from your name, Prayagraj, and your name, Satyam. Somebody may ask you from there, Satyagrah. From there, they can take you to Mahatma Gandhi, freedom fight. Right? Anything can happen.
It could be Raj Kapoor's picture, Satyam Shivam Sundaram.
They may say something right from
the. It could go to Zeenat Aman. It could go to Zeenat Aman.
Right from, somebody will be interested. Then you can say, did you see that movie? I have not seen that. Do you like that kind of movie? So this is how a conversation should go. But don't try for a question answer session, which you are always trying to make every time. So kindly, we are trying to undo that. You unmute yourself from that question answer session, right? So you mute it. Where what you'll have to do is be casual in answering. You need not be so this thing. You can say, sir, this is what is my choice. this is, I thought I should go and serve there. So why you are not chosen Uttarakhand? You can very well say Uttarakhand is as good as UP. So that is why I thought I wanted to. If at all I don't get Uttar Pradesh, I want to go and serve in Northeastern India. I really love it's this thing. You can say something, right? Whatever it pleases you, whatever is honest. Similarly, with regard to your law, I think you have done a regular course, isn't it?
Yes.
So in having done a regular course, then definitely this basic things, rudiment. We normally think, why are they going to ask? Because you may be the only person with the background of law, or you may be the only person who have chosen a particular subject as your option. In that case, what happens? For 9 members, for 9 persons, they are sitting, what they do is, you are the only person they can ask questions on law or relating to Supreme Court judgment, right? So that is why you said about why I asked NALSA, is because you said people are not getting, people are longing in jail because of this thing. What is the problem? Because there are basically some structural problem that you can speak, sir. There is a structural problem of not linking the service provider with those who need it. That is why I mentioned about law clinics. If you can bring it in those answers, you can say all schools and colleges teach law. They should have clinics so that they stand in between the NALSA or the state organization, and they should help the poor people. They should go visit the jail or they visit the poor people, give them that help. There it shows more of your, how exuberantly you come out and help for the other people, right? You can have at least those ideas in mind, whether you do it or not. Similarly, web series, you can always talk about good, bad, ugly. There is no, we did not say that it's only good about it. There is a bad, you can mention, sir, these are the bad things that I noticed, and we think we need to regulate them. But absolute censorship is something which will cripple the creativity, and the very, freedom given in that OTT will go. Technology is always welcome. Technology cannot change. But how we use the technology is more important. I think you can bring those kind of things in your answer. It will be more appropriate. I think with this, what they have said, you go and prepare yourself more. Be more cheerful. Be more, try to give narrative. And similarly, kindly follow the question. Follow the question. Then only you'll be able to give a proper answer. And don't, particularly constitution, law, you cannot, have your own definition. Right? There is no need for it. In a constitution, when 51A strictly mentioned what are the duties given. Unless you resort to 368, make an amendment, right? You cannot do that. So these are the, otherwise, they'll think having studied law, you are not able to explain this. That's the question of thing will come. I think otherwise it is all very fine, and wish you all the very best for you. Thank you. Go prepare, do well. Bye-bye.
Right, Satyam, all the best. Do well. Good well.
Thank you, sir. Wish you all the best, Satyam.
Thank you.
I guess, Satyam, that in case you want any further guidance and on how to do it better, first of all, get phone or something. I mean, you're such a hazy picture. We really can't see you. It's like, we are seeing you behind some sort of a curtain. So I think that impact itself is, it's like, it's not exciting enough. Shakal hi dikh rahi hai, matlab ajeeb sa lag raha hai, as if you're sitting behind a smoke screen. So I think try and.
It looks like we are talking to Kulbhushan Yadav.
So it's yeah. But unfortunately, we are not Harish Salve. So you have to. You have a good smile, which you're doing now. But the way you were talking was almost like you have not eaten and you are starved for food. Please smile. There'll be enough people who will be there in that for the interview board who will make them fall off asleep.
Yeah.
You should not be one of them. You should smile well, have encouraging words, and मतलब जीतने की क्षमता है, उस क्षमता को की पूर्ति करो. और मतलब डरो नहीं. Don't be afraid. You are coming back like, you're not batting full one step ahead and full drive. जो होता ना cover drive which you just given, you just drive the ball through. It's like I'll just tap the ball. It's not like a batting with full flair. do that. And I said, if you want to find out how to do it, any one of us will be very happy to share our experiences. You can talk to Madhvi and come on a one-to-one basis, and we'll be able to share our time with you. But don't allow the opportunity to go, because again, that's something as a board we've said very clearly. It's not like a prelim exam that you can keep filling it up every year. We know of people who've got 6-7 attempts, in 6th attempt, their first time they are going for the interview. So there'll be there'll not be a second time. Whereas it's not like a prelim. It's like a once in a lifetime, and you should ensure that it is actually once in a lifetime and that you don't repeat it again. So make best use of that. Okay. Bye, Satyam. All the best. Take care.
All the best. Do well.
Thank you, sir.
Luck to you.
All the best. Do well.
Thank you, sir.
You can log off, Satyam.